Good morning. Good morning. My name's Rodney Glover. I'm the candidate for governor for Florida. I'm non-party affiliated. I'm going to give you guys my written campaign speech titled, "The governor's job is not to promise you a better life. It is to make sure that you can demand one." My name is Rodney Christopher Glover. I'm a 22-year United States Navy veteran, honorably discharged. I am not a Republican. I am not a Democrat. I am not beholden to a party, a donor, or an ideology. I am running for governor for Florida as a write-in candidate, and I want to tell you exactly why. Not because I have a better slogan, not because I have a better photo op, not because I can stand in front of a banner and read words off a teleprompter with more accuracy than the person next to me. I'm running because in 2026, the citizens of Florida deserve a governor who tells them the facts and gives them the tools to act on it. The job description no one talks about. Let me tell you what a governor's job actually is. It is not to make you feel good about the direction of the state. It is not to give you a tagline to put on a bumper sticker. It is not to perform outrage at the people your base already dislikes. The governor of Florida is the chief executive of a state government. That government exists according to the Florida Constitution, Article 1, Section 1, to serve the people who created it. And the same Constitution says in plain language, all political power is inherent to the people, not in the governor, not in legislature, not in lobbyists who write checks that fund the campaigns of people who write the laws. In the people. That is not a campaign slogan. That's the supreme law of the state of Florida. And right now in 2026, it is being ignored, not by one party, not by one candidate, but by the entire structure of how we have allowed government to operate. Governing from fear. We just spent 4 years watching what happens when a governor governs from a place of fear. Fear of ideas, fear of books, fear of words that make certain people uncomfortable, fear of a concept so vague they had to invent a name for it, woke ideology, because the actual policy underneath was too thin to stand on its own. And while Florida's attention was directed at what was happening in classrooms and on library shelves, something else was happening. Your homeowner's insurance premiums went up over 40%, not because of an ideology, because of House Bill 837, signed into law in 2023, which limited your right to sue your insurance company. No citizen voted on that bill. No citizen was asked. It was just done. Your electric rates were raised through 2029 by Public Service Commission order approving Florida's power and lights rate increase. No citizen voted on that. It was just done. Rent control, the ability of a local community to decide for itself whether to cap how much a landlord can raise your rent, was banned statewide by Senate Bill 102 2023. 55% of Florida renters are cost burdened. No citizen vote on that bill. It was just done. And while you were being told to be afraid of a word, 5.7 billion of your tax dollars were being handed to corporations every single year through chapter 288 of the Florida statutes, the corporate subsidy program that has never once required citizen vote. This is what governing from fear looks like. You look over there at one thing that makes you angry while the bill is being signed over here. Now we're talking about the new distraction. Now we have a new election cycle, new candidates, new promises. Affordability. That is the word of 2026. Every candidate is talking about affordability. Every candidate is going to fix the cost of living. Every candidate is going to lower your insurance. Every candidate is going to make Florida more affordable. And I want to ask every single one of them on a debate stage, in a town hall, in a press conference, wherever they will answer this one question: which bill are you going to repeal? Not which bill are you going to propose? Which existing statute, which law that is already on the books, already signed, already in effect, are you going to remove? Because affordability is not an ideology. It is a math problem. and the math has a source. Your insurance costs went up because of House Bill 837. Name the bill. Your electric rates went up because of the PSC order approving Florida Power and Light rate structure through 2029. Name the order. Your rent went up because Senate Bill 102 took away your community's ability to protect itself. Name the bill. If a candidate cannot name the bill, they are not talking about affordability. They are talking about the feeling of affordability. And feelings do not lower your electric bill. I will say this plainly. I am not in contest with other candidates. I am in contest with the statutes. I am in contest with the constitutional guidelines that are or are not benefiting the lives of Florida citizens right now, today in 2026. We've seen the photo of Byron Donald standing in front of the misspelled word. That word on the banner tells you something about only attention to detail. It does not tell you why your inflation is rising. It does not explain why your electric bill went up. It does not speak to why thousands of citizens show up to local and state government meetings. Feel the public comment period. Speak their 2 minutes and then watch the vote go the other way anyway. That is not a distraction worth your time. The bills are. For the citizens who keep showing up, I want to talk about you for a moment because I have seen them. You have probably seen one of them yourself. You drove to a city commission meeting. You signed up for the public comment. You waited 2 hours. You stood at the podium and said your piece clearly, respectably, and with facts. And then the commission voted the way they were going to vote before you ever walked in the door. You called your state representative office. You left a message. You sent an email. You got a form letter back. You showed up to a town hall and asked a direct question and received an answer that had nothing to do with your question. And at some point, maybe after the third time, maybe after the 10th time, you started to wonder, what does it matter for me to keep doing this? I'm here to tell you that your instinct is correct, not because your voice doesn't matter, but because the system, as it is currently designed, does not require your representative to act on it. You can fill a room, you can fill a stadium, you can flood an inbox, and under the current structure, your representative can look at all of it and say, noted, and move right along. That is not democracy. That is a performance of democracy. I'm going to tell you what a governor can actually do about it. Here is where I differ from every other candidate in this race. I'm not going to tell you I will fight for you in Tallahassee. I'm going to tell you how to fight for yourself using a mechanism that already exists in the Florida Constitution, and then tell you exactly what I will do as governor to make sure that mechanism is protected, funded, and accessible to every citizen in this state. Article 11, Section 3 of Florida Constitution gives citizens the right to propose amendments to the state constitution directly without going through the legislature. Florida citizens have used this process 20 times minimum successfully. The $15 minimum wage, miracle marijuana, felon voting rights restoration, anti-gerrymandering reforms. Every single one of those passed because citizens organized, collected signatures, and put it on the ballot themselves. The legislature did not give you those things. You took them constitutionally, legally, and permanently. The amendment I am building towards takes that same process and makes it a permanent standing mechanism at the county level, where 30% of a county's registered voters organize and file their representative has the constitutional obligation, not a suggestion, not a request, a constitutional obligation to begin drafting the legislation for those citizens are asking for. No lobbyist can block it. No committee chair can table it. No leadership can redefine the calendar to make the deadline disappear. And yes, I said redefine the calendar because that's exactly what Congress did in 2025. When citizens and members of Congress tried to force a vote on President Trump's tariff emergencies, the House committee buried a provision in a must pass spending bill that declared in writing that the days of the congressional calendar would not count for the purpose of the National Emergencies Act. They literally stopped the clock. They redefined time to prevent accountability. That is what the current system looks like when it is working as designed for the people who designed it. The amendment I am proposing is designed for the people who live under it. Here is what a governor's real job is. Let me close with this. A governor's job is not to promise you a better life. Politicians have been promising better lives for as long as they have been politicians. The promises are not the problem. The structure is the problem. A governor's job is to ensure that citizens always have the information they need, readily available, clearly presented, and not buried in a 400-page budget bill or administrative rule filing that requires a law degree to understand. A governor's job is to ensure that when citizens need to act, when they need to rein in any elected official, challenge a law, or force a vote on something that affects their lives, the mechanism to do that is accessible, functional, and protected from the people who benefit from it being inaccessible. That is what I'm running to do. Not to be the most powerful person in Tallahassee, to make sure that the most powerful force in Tallahassee is the one the Florida Constitution says it should be, the people. My name is Rodney Christopher Glover. I am asking you to write my name on your ballot on November 3rd, 2026, not because I have the best slogan, not because I am the candidate in this race who is telling you exactly what bills are the problem, exactly what the Constitution already gives you the right to do about it, and exactly what I will do as governor to make sure that you can use it. The plan is simple. 20 cents in 2 years, and our Florida Constitution will do the rest. Thank you for your time. I appreciate you standing and hearing me out. That is my core speech. It's a speech that I took some time out to write to let you know what I was trying to do. You guys have a great morning.